Today I'm going to show you how to make a flower wreath. This is actually a dahlia out of paper for your front door. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so here is a list of supplies that we are going to need for our dahlia today. I have a piece of cardboard. I just cut open a cereal box that we weren't using anymore, and we're going to use this as the backing. So we're going to use a circular shape. I have this bowl right here. It's about 8 inches in diameter, but it's your choice how big you want to create your dahlia. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger, it's up to you. Scissors to cut, glue. I grabbed some twine that I had laying around. That's just going to be on the back so we can hang it later. Tape to reinforce the twine. And of course, our paper. And you can choose whatever color you'd like. I essentially use probably about 20 sheets of paper for this. And I should say this is actually cardstock. It's an acid-free cardstock. It just helps it from turning yellow. You can use any kind of paper, really. What we're going to do is we're going to be cutting these down into squares. And I have this paper cutter. It just makes life easier, but I will also show you how to cut your paper evenly using scissors. Start with the base, and I'm going to grab my bowl, place it on my cardboard. I'm kind of working within the creases of the box form, and I'm just tracing my pencil marks so I can get a good outline. I'm putting that bowl aside because that's just going to be in the way. Alright, and I'm just going to take my time in cutting. It doesn't have to be perfect. No one's going to see this part. This is just for support. So, alright. And there is our base. As I said, just a cereal box, nothing fancy. And then I'm going to start cutting some paper. Alright, so the easy way is to use a straight edge if you have it. I got this, I think, at Michael's with a coupon, so I didn't spend a whole lot of money. But I want 4-inch by 4-inch squares. So, finding the 4-inch mark, slicing, and dicing. And then I got scrap paper. I try not to overload my cutter because it's not heavy duty by any means. Another way, if you do not have a straight edge, is just to measure out a 4-by-4-inch square and then just cut it manually. Not my favorite method, but it'll still work in a pinch. It'll take you a little bit longer to do this, but this project is easy, but it is time consuming. So I suggest we just pop in a good movie once we have all our supplies made, and then when we are ready to assemble, enjoy your movie and work at your own pace creating this. So the next step is to actually going ahead and making the petal. And what we do, we have our square, and it's in we're going to hold it in like a diamond shape, and we're just going to kind of roll it into a cone. You want this point, and you want to kind of smooth it out, and while you're holding it down, you want to get some glue, put it in that crease, and you're just going to kind of hold it for like a few seconds. And we're going to make roughly the first layer actually. Our first layer here is at the bottom, and we are making about 16 to cover the diameter. The second layer is about 12, and it just kind of decreases as you go. So we're going to just go ahead and keep, making it. If you don't want to keep holding on to your paper as the glue dries, or as it gets a good hold, you can always use a paper clip to hold it together, move on. You can also use hot glue. Just be careful because the heat does resonate through the paper, but that is a bit quicker process. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the rest of my cones, get them all out of the way. As I said, great end results. Not hard at all, just time consuming. So pop in a movie and just start rolling your paper to this lovely cone shape, and we're going to, next step, we're going to glue the first layer. Now I have roughly 16 cones, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let me get this out of the way a little bit, I'm going to start placing them one on each side of the paper, and I'm going to go ahead and glue them down. I'm doing this so I can make sure that I have an even diameter. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure I place these about as much off the template as evenly as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you definitely want a good foundation to adhere these. So then, in my experience, I like to just kind of keep going in a circle, kind of just framing each one and making sure they all are about even, and then we can go back and glue these down. What you don't want is a lopsided dahlia. I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these down, and we're going to let it dry, and then we'll start on the second layer, and that's about roughly 12 cones. Okay, so here is my wreath base. Everything is glued down nice and sturdy. It does take a little while for it to dry if you're using regular glue. Hot glue is definitely a lot quicker. So I went ahead and I made the second batch of cones. I did about 12 for the next batch, and the key to making it look realistic is making sure when you glue these down, I'm going to go ahead and get some glue, just a little bit on the back. You're going to place it in the middle of two of the outside cones, a little bit more inward, so you can still see the outside of the cone, of the base cones, and now we have something in front of it. We're kind of hiding the seams. Now it's, again, regular glue takes a little while. You want to kind of just use your fingers and hold the piece down for a few seconds until it's about sturdy, and you can just leave it to dry. Let gravity do its work. Because we already have the base layer, all you have to do is just go around and go in between the pieces. Alright, so here is my dahlia with the 2 rows of petals. It was a tight squeeze in some areas. You can always make the cone a little bit thinner, like roll it up a little bit tighter, and you can squeeze them in. If it's not exact, that's okay. As long as it looks full, you should be in good shape. At this part of my demo, I ran out of the first color I was using. So I used up my 10 sheets of pink, and I kind of went in with a second color. It's your choice. It depends on how much paper you have and what colors you have. I have a little bit more of the yellow paper here, or this tan paper here. So I'm going to see how far I can go. You're going to do the same process where you're just fitting the petals a little bit further in so you can still see the others. If you have to cut the tips to fit them in there, by all means go ahead. That's definitely okay, but it might help it lay a little bit better, and to where you can see the back petals. So I'm going to go ahead and do the next round, and I'll see you in a bit. So I had to move on to another color. I did run out of my yellow. I'm switching to peach, which is just fine. You can have as many colors as you like for this particular project. So I started gluing these down in the center. What I end up having to do with the ones that are in the center, is I gotta roll these tighter, make the petal a little bit smaller, denser, and it's because it's being held tighter, the glue takes a little bit more effort to hold in place. But once we get our tighter petal rolled up, we're definitely at this point going to have to cut the tip so it can fit. Oops, and this is why I shouldn't cut with my left hand. There we go. So, and this is rolling out. So again, roll it up nice and tight, best you can, and then you're going to place some glue right on the spine. Make sure that the tip of the petal is out, and we're just placing it again just like the other layers, just in between the 2 previous petals, and we just hold that in place. So we are going to just keep filling in these spaces with smaller and smaller cones. I went ahead and I started making some slightly smaller pieces just to help me out. This one's 3 inches by 3 inches, and I'm just making it into a tight cone and adding some glue, and we're just going to find, actually we're going to have to cut this a little bit too, even with the smaller ones, and try to find a space for these. So yeah, just in between each petal until we get to the center. It's going to get tighter. Just keep placing them and gluing them as needed. All right. Okay, so now we have our full dahlia. As I said, it gets tighter as you go. Fill in any spots you think are lacking. The last step for this project is we are going to turn this guy over after it's all dry, and the cardboard at this point kind of buckles up, but that's okay because it's just a support. Most of the weight is going to be on relying on the petals anyway, so what I did was I just cut a piece of twine, or you can use ribbon, string. I'm going to tie some knots at each end, kind of giving it a stopping point. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on each side, right around where those knots are, and then I'm going to reinforce it with some tape. Because this is so light, you don't have to worry about finding something really sturdy to hang it with. You can even, if you have a thumbtack, you can thumbtack it to a wall and you can hang it like that. So, hope you enjoyed our tutorial on our paper dahlias, and I hope you guys have a safe rest of the week. I'll see you.